today's episode.
A lot of them are sex offenders, but that's not really important. What's really important is gender!
Joe Rogan. Now, most of you guys know 2025 was absolute cinema. And when I say cinema, I don't mean in a good way like Pulp Fiction. I mean in a terrible way like Cats. And with all these horrible times we're seeing in current events, we're also seeing the fall off of a lot of things that have been popular for years. Major internet influences in the entertainment industry. One of them being Joe Rogan himself, or more so, the Joe Rogan sphere. So when I say the Joe Rogan sphere, what I'm talking about is Joe Rogan's entertainment area of influence. So I'm referring to his podcast, the Joe Rogan Experience, as well as his insane comedy club, The Mothership, which has led to crazy creations like the hateable, very punchable man, Tony Hinchcliffe. Joe's podcast, as well as his Mothership Comedy Club in Austin, Texas, have caused Joe to have a lot of influences in two areas where he arguably should have never had access to, those being politics and comedy. Yeah, I know this guy's over 50 years old, but there seems to be some kind of major fall off happening, some kind of transition of Joe from a younger guy who was with the times and knew what people wanted to hear, knew what the culture was doing, to becoming an old boomer who can't understand a basic joke and refuses to hear anything that's outside of his own opinion. I mean, this guy is now getting tricked by AI videos and believing they are real and getting mad at his assistant for letting him know it's fake.
So real.
What's the fuck Trump is? It's probably a.
That is so real, Jamie.
By the way, if this was real, he might have won.
It's probably a real person. It might not be Tim Waltz. The fuck Trump is AI generated.
No, he slaps his ass.
I mean, that is hilarious.
Oh, it's definitely him. This is all 100% real, Jamie. You're a plant by the
Jamie's
government.
compromised, and I'm worried about Jamie, and I'm worried about Grok.
Does it say that it's AI?
I mean, yes.
You say it's AI.
No, the video.
Everybody says
the
it?
video I played.
Also, with this new level of cringe he has reached with AI music, Joe has been forcing guests to listen to cringeworthy AI remixes of 50 Cent, which he unironically thinks are good.
Have you heard what they're doing with AI music, speaking of jazz?
Yes.
They did 50, I sent it to Jamie today. They took 50 Cent's Many Men and made it like a soulful song that seems like it's from the 50s or 60s. Have you heard this?
No, but I've heard a few other ones, not the 50 Cent one.
Dude, you want to listen to it?
Yeah.
It's so fucking good. I sent it to Brian Simpson, and he said, that is the best fucking thing you've ever sent me.
And so they just did that.
Yes, through AI. It's not even a real human being's voice. And it's fucking good, dude. It's good where you're like, whoa! Listen to this.
Basically, our boy Joe is becoming everyone's annoying grandpa who is way out of style but keeps trying to tell you how it is when you come over. With some things that have recently taken place over the last couple of years, such as the election of 2024 and people really wanting Trump to win, I think on the end of it now, Joe is starting to realize that his podcast and his popularity, as well as the audience he caters to, may have been used as a vehicle, or coerced, if you will, into being used for Republican advantage or political advantage, just maybe. I mean, like with some of the people he had on his podcast, this was very obvious. Even some of the talking points they were using were kind of ways to just keep Joe's interest. I remember seeing that Joe had Trump on his podcast. And look, you know, I'm no woke person, but I can say it gets a little weird when people with these levels of knowledge start getting involved with politicians and like people who control the world. And kind of like when Theo did it. I mean, listen to what comedians tend to think, at least the old school comedians, of all this behavior.
Well, they're all having like
They're all, like,
politicians on.
journalists.
Tim got fucking interviewed by like CNN.
Yeah.
I was like, what in the fuck is going on?
Yeah, we stay here.
They had Bernie on Schultz's show.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
He's not coming here.
Bernie? And people are taking it serious? And it's not.
When it came to some of the Republican guests he had on there, I mean, you could kind of clearly see that people had other motivations. A lot of these podcasts weren't even entertaining. They have to find a way to fill up 3 hours. And some of the people he had on his podcast, Crazy Eyes, Kash Patel, and I mean, you can't blame the man for letting some of these people on. I mean, have you seen this lady? Congressman, oh man, they knew what they were doing with that play. By the way, this lady was probably the most annoying one they brought on there, because we all know they only brought her there because she's hot and she's Republican, but also the fact that she kept pulling Joe's interest in with these comments about aliens and extraterrestrials and how she had some kind of proof or some kind of for sure evidence that all this was guaranteed, but then proceeded not to give Joe anything as far as factual leads to go off of or any real speculation.
See ya. And then his second in command comes in, and they managed to get one pilot to come down and brief us. And what I will tell you is, I will say it, Representative Gates has gone on record. He actually did as soon as he left office that we've seen stuff that I don't believe was created by mankind.
So you can't tell us what you saw, but
I'm going to let you infer.
Infer. See, this is the problem that I have with all this stuff.
I should be able to tell you without losing my clearance.
Well, not just that. That people that have that information should give that information to the general public.
Correct.
And stop treating us like you're smarter than us.
Just kind of empty, somebody did this, somebody did that type stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, you got to understand, as I do, how things were towards the end of 2024 and what we were dealing with. Like, we had just got done dealing with 4 years of these two people on TV every day. I mean, you got to remember this little afro-headed nightmare, this little lying machine. But it's easy to kind of fall into the trap that Joe started to fall into regarding these politicians, because everybody wanted the same thing at that time. We all wanted Biden out. We all wanted his policies to stop. We wanted everything to stop being so nightmarishly expensive, terrible, chaotic, lawless, a lot of criminality, riots every day. So we want Trump back, even if we weren't a fan of the guy, even if you didn't think he was the greatest thing you ever wanted, even if you didn't think he was the greatest politician ever, you just wanted to be on the right side of history at this time, it kind of felt like. So I understand why people like him and Tony and people under the Rogan sphere were taking that side, but I think they went a little bit too far, and Joe is now realizing that he might have been used as a vehicle, like his whole platform might have been being used or manipulated somehow, basically for exposure or to get into office. And I mean, they haven't really done a lot of what they promised, and Joe forgot the number one main rule to remember with these grifters. These people are still politicians. They are willing to do whatever it takes to reach the point of power they're trying to get to. And I think Joe got so stuck on the free speech thing and, you know, how to get rid of the wokey crap that he didn't realize he was kind of being played. I mean, look at Kash Patel, for example. Before he became leader of the FBI and before Trump had won, he was all about release the Epstein files, clean it out, get to the truth. But now that they have won and he's become the actual director of the FBI, suddenly there are no files. There is no evidence. Okay. On the other side of things, we can see a lot of the things that we wanted Trump in office for ain't being held up. Like groceries still being expensive, inflation still hasn't slowed down, prices are still high, people are still having a hard time living, having a hard time finding work now. AI is taking over a bunch of stuff, and Trump seemingly doesn't give a crap about it. He's rich as he's always been. He's doing the same thing, and he's basically just being Trump now. Now, some of the things he dealt with have been good, like he's cleaned up things with the illegal problem, but other than that, life is still hard for a lot of Americans. Joe should have realized that no matter how good these people make it look, and boy do they make it look good, these people had their own ideas and their own plans to get where they wanted to go, and now these people have gotten there. Joe is just standing around looking used up for it, and I don't see how he didn't see this coming. People are starting to think a lot differently about Joe and his podcast, his Mothership Comedy Club, and everything he represents. It also, the main podcast seems to be losing its entertainment value at a rapid rate, since Joe seems to be more focused on catering to his own group of people he knows or things he's interested in personally, instead of giving us the special guests and the audience experience we really wanted to see. He cares a lot about his right-wing politics. He cares a lot about keeping up with Texas hype, which seems to be dying down quite a bit. What I'm saying is Joe either seems to not care or be oblivious to the fact that he doesn't look like the guy who's on top of the culture anymore. His podcast no longer looks like the guiding light of podcasts, though. He now looks like somebody who's been used and has a lack of awareness in the entertainment world, the political world overall. And another domain where you can see the JRE effect is the current stand-up comedy and podcasting scene. Now, I would say all of this is a big wind down from the pandemic times. Joe was basically riding this huge wave of internet consumption that was happening during the pandemic. This caused a lot of comedians and people to follow his path when he moved to Austin, Texas, which he did because they were loose on COVID restrictions. But since doing so, Joe has created another monster in Texas known as the Mothership Comedy Club. Now, if you are on the internet lately at all, then you would know that Joe is no stranger to co-signing and endorsing things that end up being horrible in entertainment for the audience. We all know who gave Brendan Schaub the idea to get into comedy and start doing these podcasts, which has been abysmal. Well, take a look at how it's been.
That needle's not touching this fucking temple, Daddy. As he says that, he's taking a nacho, dipping in nacho cheese. Oh, my bad.
That's right, Shab is so bad that Shab has actually become a verb for being trash at something in general, or just being cringe or conventionally hated. Shabification is actually a commonly used term on the internet. Basically, dude is trash at everything he does entertainment-wise, and basically his whole career that he currently has to this point is only happening because he was clout chasing Joe Rogan. See, Joe Rogan going to Austin caused a tidal wave of clout chasing. Became like a clout chasing mecca of sorts, where comedians were going there, people were moving there just because they could try to get in with Joe Rogan, whether it be the comedy mothership or somehow get on that podcast. So the mothership as a whole has been seeing slow sales right now. People are complaining about shows, all the reviews are crap. They're not selling like they used to during the pandemic times. We've had like a 4-year wind down from this. Now remember what I said earlier about how during the mega progressive period of Joe Biden, there was kind of so much sentiment that we wanted things to go back to normal. And maybe Joe took things too far the other direction as far as the conservative values and the whole Republican thing. As a result, a lot of comedy and entertainment in Austin was being affected by people trying to chase that Joe Rogan exposure and seek his attention and approval in petty and retarded ways. So some of them were going overboard to be the opposite of what woke or progressive would be, kind of like us Californians. It's basically just doing all this edgy, harsh, purposely offensive jokes to try to make a direct play at the mothership or gaining some Joe approval. Professional comedians who've done this for years are calling this style out.
Like if I meet you, you know when like you're hanging out with another comedian, he says the N-word around you for the first time?
Yeah.
I like that. That's a little trust that I'm in the circle.
Here we go. Let's talk about this real quick, okay? I'm not with that. You guys are doing in Austin.
What do you mean?
Well, let's be real. I don't like some of the words you guys use freely.
Like what?
It's like edgelord shit. It's like
not all of it.
I know, but it's becoming so hacky to me that
100%.
people you guys use these words just for the shock factor.
So what almost makes this worse or amplifies the negative effect of all this is this show called Kill Tony, which I'm sure you've heard of, which of course takes place at the mothership. The host of the show is another man, Mr. Tony Hinchcliffe, a man who looks like a horse and has an expression on his face all the time like he's holding back raging diarrhea. Kill Tony is a show who gives random people who want to go on a mic and try comedy 1 minute to try to impress an audience. And whether they impress the audience or not, well, they get harshly roasted by critics, the guests on the panel, and by people in the crowd. The format makes for good clip farming on the internet, and these things have gone crazy viral, especially the episode with Shane Gillis and Adam Ray, which, shout out to Shane Gillis, he's actually one of the only good things hovering around this whole Rogan sphere. So Tony Hinchcliffe is supposed to be like this master roaster. It's like a specialty. It's like his talent tree, full build in Cyberpunk where he's all one spec or something. He's supposed to be a mega roaster, a roasting assassin. And this whole show is supposed to show how funny you are by roasting people. It seems like it is a fair assessment to say that nobody can really be funny in a minute. It's like when you're unknown, how are they even going to know how to react to you correctly? Another problem with Kill Tony is that it breeds some of the worst, cringiest, most degen, overly eccentric personality type of people to call themselves comics that we've ever seen, such as David Lucas. The only actual time a good comedian came in to Kill Tony and took over the whole energy and atmosphere, Tony hated him so much at first, but that's the greatest guy who ever came to Kill Tony, and that is the boy himself, Timmy No Breaks.
Unreal.
Oh.
I'll take that golden ticket, bitch.
Oh my God.
I'll take that golden ticket, bitch.
Now, don't get me wrong, No Breaks is the best, and he's funny, but his success itself is kind of a sign of the atmosphere and toxicity of something like Kill Tony. It's basically based on making a fake, hyper-eccentric character version of yourself so that you can make the ultimate, quick and compacted show tiny little bits of time, trying to entertain quickly over and over, which now so many people are changing their personalities or faking their personalities or copying things that they like or changing what their styles are based on to be something more like what Joe Rogan and Tony Hinchcliffe will like, and this is creating a crazy atmosphere around Austin. The main problem with Kill Tony is that it breeds the type of comedians we don't want to hear. saying things on podcasts we don't want to hear or see in other forms of entertainment. And when other entertainers and content creators do come into contact with these people, they kind of tend to see them as real hacky or act like they don't take their profession serious. The internet seems to have a very cold reaction to these entertainers. Everybody except for Shane Gillis, who did not originate from Kill Tony, but does take part in it.
Tony is clearly gay and malnourished.
He did have Russell Crowe on last week, which is dope because he's Russell Crowe. But you know, when I see something like what's happening with JRE and Joe Rogan go down, and sometimes things just happen in life to let you know the world ain't gonna be as good as it used to before. Something's off with it. These things just happen. These things can destroy you, bring you so much pain in life. It's like Kim and Kanye breaking up, or like watching any movie made after 2020. You know, it's weird because you always felt like Joe was learning about these things and we were hearing it all through the podcast these years, and it was leading to some sort of trajectory. Now it seems it's all gone downhill. I mean, trust me, I really want to have hope. Now it seems it's all really gone downhill. I mean, trust me, I really do want to have hope. But if this is what we're getting from Joe on a regular basis, guys,
It's better. It is.
I put a hole in a nickel for fucking with me.
I'm afraid sometimes you just don't know what you got till it's gone. And it looks like this man is slipping away. Craziest thing about this is, you know, Joe is losing his cultural awareness because he has solid-minded, high-level friends like Dave Chappelle, one of the highest achieving, most recognized comedians of all time. He knows Cat Williams, one of the best currently alive as well. This is why you have to wonder why you don't see somebody like Dave coming around the mothership that much. You don't see Cat coming around there. There's something other professional comedians notice about how this vibe or these guys should be kind of pushed out of the comedy scene. You know, this is allowed for things like Burt Kreischer. It's allowed for things like Brendan Schaub. And it's not like there's a problem with these guys. It's just that people know the only reason these people are on stage and selling out arenas and having recognition on this level is because they somehow were associated closely with Joe Rogan. Things have just gone too far with this man and his sphere of influence and the clout chasing nature of the current internet. So some things are dying down that need to die, and we're all going to move on. Well, guys, that's the end of the episode. On another note, a lot of you will see that my last video was posted a year ago. Let's just say I've been dealing with some things. But I live in California, and I think I got it figured out.
When anything bothers me and I'm feeling unhappy, I just try and think of nice things. What kind of things? Oh, well, let me see. Nice things.
It's Reese. I'm back with the channel again. We will be giving you the latest in gaming and the internet for you guys. Thanks for watching. Get you a win. Gamer World TV. We are out.
Bye-bye. See you soon.
So long, gay boys.